Let's go back to the conference that you talk about on Pac-12 radio on Sirius XM very, very frequently. Colorado at Arizona State.
Yeah.
We move into an interesting point in the Buffalo's schedule. So the first 3 games were, holy crap, Deion Sanders is a Power 5 college football coach. Let's see what he does. The next 2 were, this is Colorado playing established powers that are much better than them. Now they move into the portion of the schedule where they're playing conference games against teams that they should be competitive against. Arizona State is a 4.5-point underdog at home. Buffalo is supposed to go in there and beat them. How do we feel about this after Colorado USC?
Yeah, so pretty interesting game here, mostly from the Arizona State side, not really from the Colorado side, in my opinion. Arizona State's 1-4, right? They won their first game against Southern Utah barely, and they've lost, just from some low-scoring games.
The Oklahoma State loss looks worse and worse the more Oklahoma State plays.
But they've had such turnover quarterback with all the injuries they've had. They started Jaden Rashada, and then Drew Pine played. Then Trent Bourget started last weekend. But Kenny Dillingham has taken over the offense the last 2 weeks, and it's been much better. It's been much, much better. 20 against USC, 21 in a loss to Cal last weekend. Colorado's defense is just not good. Like I don't know but I don't trust Arizona State to just play well on offense. I kind of just don't yet, Andy. Like I have to sort of see it's Bourget. I think it's Bourget again. I think this weekend. They just don't have a lot of playmakers on the offense side of the ball, but low key, they've been pretty good on defense for kind of what we thought they were going to be this year. They're not a great defense, but they're okay. They're better than we thought. And my last thought is, this is a big come down for Colorado, right?
Right.
You go from playing basically 5 straight weeks in prime time with, I think 4 of the 5 weeks every week you had some sort of pregame show there, right? You had game day or big noon kickoff.
Yeah.
Now you're going on the road. You're playing a 3:30 kickoff in Arizona. Are they Pacific time? I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. Pac-12 network.
It's Pac-12 network.
3:30. Yeah. 3:30 kickoff because the time change hasn't happened yet. So it's 3:30 local time.
It's going to be a little bit warm. It's going to be, again, a bring your own energy type of game. I'm staying away from, I'm not wagering on this game. I'm staying away, just kind of staying away from this game. But there's a lot of things that I'm kind of very curious to see about both these teams when they play each other on Saturday.
Yeah. I feel like if you were defending Arizona State, just have somebody tackle Cam Scatabo every play.
Colorado,
you might limit what they can do.
By the way, I looked up, it's supposed to be 98 on Saturday. So you're playing 98 degrees in Phoenix on Saturday. I played a 12:30 kickoff there before in September. We won like 49-7 or something. I mean, we kicked their butt, but it's very toasty. They have metal bleachers there. The sun reflects quite ferociously. They've redone their stadium since then, but yeah, I don't have a feel for this game. I really the total 60.5. I mean, I guess over would be if I had to take a wager on this game, that's where I would go, but I don't feel great about anything in this one.
I think Colorado's going to go in there and cover. And what I'm interested in is seeing these next few weeks for Colorado, because if they just handle business and they come out of this stretch with 5 wins.
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd have told me before the season started they would have 5 wins on the season, I would say that's a great year for them.
Absolutely.
5-2? That's a really great year for them.
So it's Arizona State, Stanford, and then the bulk of their schedule gets tougher, right? At UCLA off a bye. They host the Beavers. They host Arizona, and then it's at Washington State, at Utah. I mean,
they might lose all of those games.
Arizona, you got a quarterback we'll see what they do there. But yeah, I mean, there's a chance that they go bowling this year, which I think no one thought would be possible.
Yeah. Yeah. If Deion takes them to a bowl game this year, I'm looking at them as potentially a contender in the Big 12 next year, because I know he's going to upgrade the roster again.
The only thing I'll push back on is that he has got to recruit high school offensive defensive linemen.
Yes, which he's doing. He's trying to flip guys from Alabama. He's trying to flip guys from USC.
Sure. I mean, you get 10% of players flip. Like that's like that's one guy, right? Who's trying to get me. Oregon's trying to flip guys too. Like you get one flip and you're excited, right? I mean, you got to really go and there's not this year has players on the West Coast in Arizona and in Southern California and Washington that are high level offensive alignment, and you got to get those guys. And unfortunately, Georgia and Texas take all of them away from us.
They do, and that is the problem. Is they're a limited resource, and Texas is the one school that's actually been able to get into that game where they're getting kind of the ready-made offensive linemen, and they weren't before. But it was just really Georgia, Alabama, and Ohio State were getting those guys.
So upsetting. So upsetting.
Oregon was getting him, and Mario was getting him out in Miami.
Yeah, but Calvin Banks was supposed to be a duck, and he's now anchoring the Texas offensive line. It's upsetting.
Yes, and Calvin Banks is going to be a first-round draft pick in 2025.
He will be the first offensive tackle taken in 2025. That is correct.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting just how much they've gotten better on both lines of scrimmage. We'll talk about Texas in a minute, but I'm going to take Colorado to cover there.
Okay.
Thank you so much for watching. Just a reminder, subscribe to this channel right here so you never miss an episode of Andy Staples on 3. And oh, by the way, watch all the other great videos on the On3 Sports YouTube channel.